Did you know that 76% of women murdered by an intimate partner were stalked first? That is a devastating statistic coming from the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. So how can you better protect yourself if you are a victim of stalking? Joining me now is a safety expert, Commander Dale Brown. He's the founder of Detroit Urban Survival Training, which is also known as DUST. Commander, thanks for being with us today. A lot of times people don't know what to do, where to go for resources in these situations, but you have come up with some safety tips, some tangible things to enact when it comes to your daily schedule. We do know oftentimes stalking depends on people understanding habit. So lay out what those tactics can look like.
Well, what we teach is how to essentially become your own bodyguard. And that means that you change your patterns so that a person that's stalking you is not someone you always know. So sometimes it's a total stranger. So in general, it's imperative to change what we call TMR, time, method, and route of travel. So on a daily basis, one of the things you can do to be your own bodyguard, to make it safer for you and your family, is don't keep patterns, change the time you leave for work or school, change the method by which you travel. You take the car, sometimes take the van, you take the bus, take the motorcycle, just switch it up so there's no way someone can actually know how you're traveling and keep up with your patterns and then stalk you successfully. And change your time which you travel by 30 minutes. And of course the route. Never take the exact same route to or from work or school. And this makes it very difficult for a person to ambush you.
Yeah. And speaking of ambush, oftentimes these stalking situations show up in a scenario where someone is forcing you into their car, into their vehicle, and you say, try your very best not to get into that vehicle because oftentimes you're never seen again alive. What do you want people to do in those situations, Commander?
Yes, according to national statistics on violence and victimization, if you go to the secondary location, it's highly unlikely that you will survive. So remember that if someone's trying to take you somewhere, they're trying to get you into a car, into a trunk, into a secluded area, into the basement, they're not going to let you go. So it's best for you to agree that you're going to comply with whatever they say and then fight for your life. And that's what we teach, how to escape, control, or immobilize threats. And we teach people how to become their own bodyguard so that they can't hold you against your will, so they cannot physically dominate you. And if your life's in danger, it's imperative that you focus on striking the areas of a person who's trying to harm you, to take you away, to hold you against your will in ways that they cannot easily recover from. So taking the ability for someone to stand, breathe, and see, striking just those areas, that's how you would, especially as a person who's much smaller than another person on a weight class, that's how you'd be able to effectively defend yourself, your family. So focus on vital areas if you are attacked. And remember to always call 911 first if you believe someone's going to harm you at your home or business. And we have an entire system on how you protect yourself and how to protect stalking victims specifically, because that's what we do here in Detroit for the past 30 years.
Okay, and we're for sure going to allow resources so viewers can get those specific contacts so they can get more information about exactly what your training entails. Now, one of the things that you talk a lot about is for victims, potential victims, to have a safety plan. Talk to us, Commander, about what that could look like specifically. And, you know, this is a question we can't have this conversation and not talk about whether it's firearms or other types of tools to offer personal protection. What's your conversation around that?
Weapons are, you know, they're great. They're a great tool, but they're just a tool. And remember that, unfortunately, many people who carry guns for a living are no longer alive. So the gun is not going to keep you alive. It doesn't stop you from being abducted. In fact, a female officer was abducted, I believe it was last summer, and taken by two men. Thankfully, she was not killed, but she was definitely inappropriately treated by these two men. And the point is, she was armed and she was abducted from the back of the police station as well. So here's the point: the guns are not what's going to keep you safe. It's your actual knowledge. It's your skill, and that's what we teach you so that you can understand how to identify by using psychology threatening behavior before they have a chance to attack you or your family. You have to understand the law so you don't break the law while you're defending yourself, because using the law is how you can legally make sure that you're not considered the threat, because women are prosecuted for protecting themselves constantly. And I explain this to people a lot, especially women who carry weapons, that, you know, a lot of women are in prison right now on death row and serving with life sentences, or very long sentences, because they won against their abusers. But they won in a way that was not considered legally appropriate. So that's why we teach law second after psychology. So being able to identify human behavior so you can make the right decisions and positives is vital. But law is more important than physical fighting, because many women are prosecuted because they successfully defend themselves. So it's not as easy as, do I need a weapon?
Before we let you go, though, I do want you to provide, because I know people want to know this, what is the website, the social media handle where people can get more information that want to explore, the minutia of the training that you offer, Commander?
Great. Detroit-dust.com is our website. And you can find us on YouTube at Detroit Threat Management Center at YouTube, and Detroit_dust on Instagram.
All right. Commander Dale C. Brown, just invaluable insight, and we thank you so much.